into darkness as a matter of fact. So it goes on us as an individual, as a corporate organizations, to come and salvage this suffering that our people are going through. I think that's where we have come in as a First Sky Group to offer these donations to at least to bring a form of relief to our people who are going through these unfortunate situations. In all bid, helping Ghana not to be plunged into that darkness. I think that is the premises where we have come from to offer these donations as our humanitarian gesture to our fortunate brothers and sisters who are going through this suffering. Yeah, they will also come as a subsidiary of a First Sky Group, which is Serene Insurance. They have also come out with a package, an insure life package for any victim that will be affected by way of death. As a result of this spillage, will be fully compensated, and the total sum of this policy is 2.5 million Ghana cedis.
We don't want what has happened at Akosombo to happen to us in Accra. The Akosombo spillage, even though VRA, NADMO, the Water Resources Commission came together to educate the people in the community, did simulation exercises with them even at Mepe. Yet they refused to leave. They didn't want to be evacuated. They stayed there till the end when we started spilling. Unfortunately, look at what is happening. And government has to spend millions of money on relief items, on education. The whole area, the water is contaminated. And what Ghana Water and Water Resources Commission would have to spend money, millions of money to treat the water before we can pass it through our pipes. So a stitch in time saves 9. But sometimes it's difficult to accept the situation. But we will plead with all of you to accept it as it is. And let's all come together and ensure that we have safe drinking water. That's the most important thing. Water is life. Water is essential to everything. Without water, we cannot survive. Without water, there will be no agric. Without water, there will be no health. Without water, in all other sectors of the economy, you need water. So help us to protect and preserve our water bodies.
So we are here in Galosota after the minorities visit and the leadership of the National Democratic Congress also paid a visit to donate some relief items to these persons. I have here one pregnant woman, and I want to find out, she is also living underwater because apparently the water has collapsed her house. Davi, I find out to Hanuma.
Meti insunechi insunani mu ho e wono ho me maame na ti ho
o maame ni
ebi ba
wa fa ni sa o maame na insune ba ye wo nyim wo ka sa obekọ antenatal a o ye den kwa antenatal no
me ntumi nko insune ntimi ntumi nko me juma na me yi ansa me de kon so insune aba ntimi nyesika nko bio
na sesi aka obe bosumi say ansa na wawo
aka 2 months.
Na 2 months no award ye yin say ni awo bi ani mu nsem say bi anajo say nsuo we beto aso say na anajo awo ebe kan wa wo be dey twa say nsuo we na wakọ se wo ko hospital
mpa cho me ntumi hu na ye adwendwe a medwen say menim da tamini so a menim ba bi amafa because nsuo no so misuro menim nsuo hu adwuma
na sis enti oni ukunu ene kwala say na wo maye say
we can have 4 ina wa na ehye ye funu 3 ko school
enti 5 nyina said ye ehye ye funu mo kan wa na che say wo maye 5 said ya insuo na bubu odan no ehemfa na oda
mako mami bi eti down hanmo no so no insuo na iba no ho ba no so se me betina na nchen na meti
eno ma 4 no
patwa eno
ukunu nyina
patwa
se eba ni se obia nso enifie na uhia bibi a obeto anasa aduane a ubedi ni de keka ho a wo nso nkwa openfo de ontumi mpiapia saa kenu we nti wo ye den
na me twenso na
So apparently she started getting foot rot because she is unable to paddle the canoe herself, and every time she tries to cross the water, she would have to walk barefooted, and that is how she's beginning to get foot rot. And another thing we must take note is this water is no longer fresh. It is gradually getting stagnant because it filled a lot of public toilets, it filled dam sites, it filled cemeteries and other unpleasant places. So now all these remnants of all these places are in the water. The water has soaked all these things. So from parts of dead bodies to dam sites to public toilets. So we might be also looking at not just an emergency of flooding, but another emergency that has to do with public health. Intino, say Ebani so say was say unya edrobi nomni ade asese na mu unya adwuma ene antinenta no na chese onum bi kra
ba cho me call we hanum kra yesi me call keta mini skenti me nya adwuma bi abion ntimi anko.
Faustina is just 32 years and she's a mother of 4. She's carrying her 5th pregnancy or her 5th child. So, and she's just about 7 months old. She has barely 2 months to reach 9 months and then possibly give birth. But she has to succumb to this because she has nowhere going. And if not for the benevolence of this woman paddling us, she wouldn't have even gotten a place to call home or a place to lay her head. And she's not the only one facing this. Herself and other people are all in this same plight. So they are calling on people, benevolent people, to help them, whether toiletries, beddings, at least, and food, so that they can keep fit and then stay strong until this water recedes. My name is Shadrach Odame Ejare from Galusota in the Volta region for Metro News.
When I look into the eyes of our mothers, our sisters, our aunties who are seated here, you see so much sadness. Their lives have been turned upside down overnight. These were people who were going about their daily activities every day and taking care of themselves. But as a result of the spillage and the subsequent flooding, they've had to be moved here, and they are in a situation which they haven't been in before. They have to rely on other people for basic amenities, and so it's a very sad situation. Their livelihoods have been completely disrupted. And so I am here on behalf of government, of course, to commiserate with them, to tell them we feel the pain that they are going through. And I say to them, Baba Nemi, we are told in the good book that in all things we should give thanks to God. Why are we thanking God in this situation? Because God has saved the lives of everybody who is here. So far, we've not heard of one loss of life, and that is something that we have to be thankful for. In many places, when you see this level of disaster, it always is accompanied by loss of life. So we thank God for their lives, and with life, we can really restore livelihoods and everything else. We want everybody, all the affected victims, to know that government is going to do everything in our power to make sure they are well taken care of.
When it happened, I was in America.
America.
On official business.
Ghana,
And the chief of staff called me in America.
Chief of staff
about what had happened, and we discussed what had to be done. So that's when we agreed to establish an interministerial committee to coordinate government response to this tragedy.
Alebe idegbebe wa afom habobo vide minister we wa nome abe mi aton a coordinate jirudu be do wanale duto ame.
The coordination is about immediate, about tomorrow, and about tomorrow.
Alebe nu imi awola enye egbe echo kle echo megbe.
The most important thing was, first of all, to ensure the life of people. And that is why 9 centers were established here in Mepe for all the displaced people. And the people, all the people in these 9 centers have been provided relief items by NADMO. And it's NADMO's intention to continue the exercise of providing relief items. So apart from what NADMO is doing, we have also to think about the future. I'm aware that you are farming people. The people who are farming on the banks of the rivers. River banks that have overflown and destroyed many of the farms. So one of the things that the Ministry of Agriculture, the Ministry of Finance, and the Office of the President is going to be working with the District Assembly is to decide exactly the nature of the support we have to give to you when the water has gone away, to enable you to do the farming.
Yeah, thank you very much. You have specifically mentioned corruption within the taxation system. What exactly will you do to stamp this out?
The measures are going to be difficult, but there have to be a variety of them, including what I call the ANAS principle, setting up highly motivated professional groups of young people who will work, if you like, as it were, undercover to unearth examples of corruption wherever they can find it, and thereby allow the authority to deal with the issue. Because not only do you unearth the corruption, but you actually deal with it in terms of sending people to court, prosecuting them. Hopefully the courts will cooperate and make sure that the offenders are found guilty and sanctions appropriately enforced. So a variety of measures, but a key one is the ANAS principle, as well as, of course, what you do to securize those who are in the tax collecting agencies. Placed a ban on illegal mining, the phenomenon we call galamsey, which was destroying our water bodies, vegetation, and our forests. Some 20,000 young people have been engaged to plant more than 30 million trees in 2 years to create jobs and restore degraded land. These policy initiatives are already using positive results to the attainment of the SDG goals, particularly the goal of reducing our carbon emissions. Additionally, I've established an advisory group of prominent private sector chief executives who are setting up a $100 million SDGs delivery fund and a $200 million green fund to complement government's efforts at tackling climate change and funding the implementation of the SDGs. Whilst we strive to do our bit to halt climate change at the national level, we expect also a lot to be done at the international level. One major issue of concern to us is the need to streamline access to international climate finance to complement national funding.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ na wọ́twe mmienu ni nipa ana ọ̀yẹ́ minister ana galamsey nsẹmsẹm ní adeade ọ̀hwẹ́ so osi ano ní adeade ọ̀nà akasa abẹ́ka sẹ́ galamsey a ọmọ yẹ no ẹ̀yẹ MPP mpanyinfoɔ no ẹ̀na ẹ̀yẹ saa galamsey no. Ezu where nyame na America onwa Dr. Frimpong Boateng omo minister and aka say omo ya galamsey no eye MPP mpanyinfo no ebi wo Jubilee House and omo ye wo.
What is the difference between the ordinary thief and a political thief? Number one, the ordinary thief steals your money, your bag, your watch, and your jewelry, isn't it? But the political thief steals your future, your career, your education, your health, and your business. Number two, the hilarious part is that the ordinary thief will choose whom to rob. But you are the one who choose the political thief to rob you. Because we choose them. We vote them. We blindly say we are not blind. Who is deceiving who? The ridiculous part of the whole issue is that we will fight to defend and protect our belongings from the ordinary thief. Is it not? But we fight each other to defend and protect the political thief. Is that not what we do? Thugs will be fighting themselves to protect those that are stealing our career, stealing our joy, stealing our health, stealing our success. What a shame.
This country is in serious trouble, ladies and gentlemen. We are in serious trouble. We need to rescue this country, ladies and gentlemen. The presidency has been so depraved, so muddied, so dirtied, that I tell you in all sincerity as a Ghanaian, that I feel terribly sad today as a Ghanaian. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi, inshallah.
Please don't cry.
We shall rescue our country. If you reach a certain stage in life and there is nobody who can look you in the eye and tell you the truth, you are doomed. And that is where our country has gotten to. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi. And I feel very terrible as a Ghanaian at this time.
Government is broke, government is broke. The people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
All right, a very good morning to you and you're welcome to the program. This is Good Morning Ghana. My name is Ania Fampof. It's the 30th of October 2023 and we thank God for giving us yet this day to discuss issues of the country. Follow us on social media. We are on Metro TV Ghana on Facebook and also Metro TV _GH on Twitter and Instagram and also on channel 277 DSTV. Let me take you through the headlines of the newspapers and then later we discuss the issues on the platform today. I start off with the Daily Graphic. Okay, Daily Graphic says, as spilled waters recede, VRA fumigates flooded towns. President Akufo-Addo commissions 105 vehicles to fight terrorism. Finance Minister pledges resources for dam spillage victims. And the big one, of course, Erastus Asare Donkor is 2022 Journalist of the Year. Congratulations, my brother. Daily Guide. Ghanaians bid Manye farewell. Frontiers Healthcare Services debunk allegations of corruption. NPP primaries, Bawumia tipped to win 80% votes. Nana commissions 105 EU military vehicles. Blay and Associates win 10th Garcia, that is GHACEA award. The New Crusading Guide. Atlantic Lithium leaves best for Ghana, says Jinapo. Every affected home will get relief, NADMO assures. Serious tension brews in Tema Manya. The big one, that a little is disturbing, just a little disturbing. Garu attack. Security personnel seize arms, now perpetrators vow to safeguard Ghana's peace. Let us work hard to defeat John Mahama again. Matthew Pokuprempe. Professionals thrive in a healthy and functional society. Yao Nsako. The top right corner, Michael Okpoti, is not chief of Oyarifa, royal family of Oyarifa, Agbawi clan. The Insight demonstration in solidarity with the police of Palestine after donating food items worth over 350,000 Ghana cedis, Goodness Energy appeals to government to support Keta flood disaster victims. IMF pushes world's poorest country into starvation diet as debt burdens spiral. No Jase has installed Michael Okpoti as chief of Oyarifa, says royal family of Oyarifa Agbawi clan. The Herald. Ken Japan wanted $500 million yearly contract to step down. Bawumia's team dropped bombshell ahead of Saturday's NPP presidential primaries. Digitized warehouse technology proposed to Cocoa Board. Multi-million-dollar waste smuggling and naked thievery to end. Ex-Ghana Bar president surprised at Opuni's new trial judge. Ken Oforiatta, others hide behind VRA, donate 2 million Ghana cedis to Akosombo dam spillage victims. Coming up, trouble at buffer stock again. The Daily Statesman, DI sensitizes and swarm inmates on breast cancer. NAPO urges Mahia South delegates to vote for competence. Joint operation restores peace security in Garu. Polls predict landslide victory for Bawumia. Lands Minister hails lithium deal. The Ghanaian publisher, Jinapo Defense Atlantic Lithium deal says it's best for Ghana. Bawumia cruising to landslide victory, latest survey indicates. National security restores calm in Garu. Free Akoto calls for fairness in Saturday's NPP presidential primaries. The Ghanaian Observer. Garu attacks security personnel, seize arms, nab perpetrators and vowed to safeguard Ghana's peace. NPP flag bearership. Latest polls predict landslide win for Bawumia. Volta floods. Every affected home will get relief. NADMO. Atlantic Lithium leaves best for Ghana. Minister. Energy Minister rallies NPP delegates, charges them to vote for a candidate based on competence and not religion. The Custodian. Atlantic Lithium deal tops all. Jinapo. Bawumia to win NPP polls by 80.8% survey. Mahama promises new leadership at Hogbechocho Durbar. National security denounces attack on security personnel. And the top right corner, dam spillage. NADMO promises relief for all homes. The Finder. Poll predicts strong lead for Dr. Bawumia. Ghana's lithium lease is the model for African mineral exploitation. Gartmanya laid to rest in a solemn and culturally rich ceremony. Attackers of national security officers arrested. NADMO assures relief for every affected home in flooding disaster. Finally, the Daily Post says that the Akonsombo Dam spillage, the untold story of a CEO and his deputies' recklessness, carelessness, and incompetence that nearly led to collapse of the dam. Ibrahim Mahama goes to the rescue of Mepe community as he dredges the stagnant flood waters. Military brutality in Garu. This doesn't look like counter-terrorism operation, rather an act of brutalize and the people. Yes, rather than brutalize the people. Bona. Anyway, that's all we have for you this morning on the front pages. Let's go for a break. Be back.
MTN.
Ready for something refreshing and great tasting? For your kids' enjoyment?
Angel Cola.
For your graduation enjoyment?
Angel Cola.
Beach hangout?
Angel Cola.
For all your refreshing moments?
Angel Cola.
For your parties, get-togethers, events, and celebrations, enjoy a chilled bottle of Angel Cola.
Radio Grandma, today is your day. Over to you.
Thank you. Enjoyment Cola.
Angel Cola.
The Enjoyment Cola. Enjoy all your moments and fun time with Angel Cola. This advert is FDA approved.
Anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath.
I'm a fair missy way.
The patch of Bantama.
Matias. It's her smile, the fresh breath.
Me, Jidi said we use Kel 360 toothpaste. Some kind.
Kel 360 toothpaste.
Yes, Kia. Kel 360 toothpaste. It's a gum protector.
Onim Jom Kasan.
Kile Hossein. Kel 360 did the way. It's cool mint. Gives me fresh breath and your confidence booster.
And you will see so feeling to when you know Kel 360 toothpaste.
Happy smile.
Kel 360 toothpaste, anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath. Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Everybody knows Acrobato. And if you know Acrobato, it means you know M-Punch Homeopathy Clinic. M-Punch Homeopathy Clinic is my pillar. Let's hear what others are saying about M-Punch Homeopathy Clinic. Who will be careful M-Punch one?
Chesena me ankasa me period no say problems wom ntina ma wo ho idea ma me papa chesena nya asem ketewa na mkwan point no mo hwe me modem no mo hwe bibia na so mo meduro me fire no ene ma won kura me enu hofo kwa na mkwan mu a eba
and everything yourself
me ma me no adwodwo eda ho a wontumi nante ene ne ko end point o mama nuru a ene ne ho eden a watimi asori anante.
That's end point for you of Acrobato. Hello hey ohwehwe what chair okay a free bra wo di end point wa dance am me call you no me Joseph Sema na enkoyie en person ma ye nyina na magina sebema na me be for there e ho na nyina jaresa. You heard everything. I have secret. M-Punch is my secret. M-Punch Homeopathy Clinic. I'm free.
Inside Black Star Press Limited, grow inside the invective minds, evolving concepts and the creative trends. The printing press you need now. Witness the beauty, diversity, and natural wonder with our works. Inside Black Star Press Limited, in association with Lionhead Group of Companies. Call us now on 0200-880-000 for all your print works. Black Star Press Limited, a worldwide reputation for quality printing.
Enjoy the fruits of your labor, they say. But as humans, aging and physical infirmity stands our way of enjoying our mansions and homes. It often becomes challenging, if not impossible, to use our stairways day in, day out. With portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators, PVs, you are assured of unlimited enjoyment of your mansions and homes. It's a self-supported elevator for vertical movement of humans and goods at homes and offices. The original comes in 3 custom-made models with wheelchair accessibility. Call it luxury, but it's a necessary imperative for vertical mobility. Do not let aging or infirmity limit you. Get one for your easy vertical mobility at home. It's affordable and can be installed in just 3 days without modification to your existing building. It's however easier to incorporate it at the construction stage. We also have traditional Fuji elevators and escalators for your high-rise buildings and malls. Visit Lifts and Elevators Company Limited at Sakumono for your elevators nationwide. For free consultation, to call or WhatsApp us on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators, the elevator people.
In life, choice is good, but choice plus safety is way better. Your safety and comfort is paramount. Under the cylinder recirculation model, you can buy LPG in a safe environment. All cylinders are inspected and maintained to the best safety standards, so your safety is assured. Just take your empty cylinder to the nearest exchange point and swap it for a filled cylinder. Different cylinder sizes will be available to meet your pocket size. Imagine cooking in a smoke-free environment. This will improve the health and well-being of you and your family. Choose LPG in a safer model of distribution. Cylinder recirculation model. Securing your safety, creating more jobs. A message from the National Petroleum Authority under the patronage of the Ministry of Energy.
Yamawakwaba the button Nadum Auto Fix and Accessories. Ahadie e bano KSC near Wakadia. Ubenya biwa. Kabian in the house, any new here. Yansu ye when him the four or best son we ye amount. Nadum Auto Fix and Accessories ye jume did ye. 24/7 ye CCU engine, brake, battery, yes a sour tie. Say bano car wash dia. Ye wo abe fun fidelity say steamer ye the whole car engine abra nsuon core engine nim. Ye san ye detailing metre say ye betwitwu car no mu ba bia ma. Ye hia ye san polish car na ma kama. Enye we no munku ye san to car batteries, tires, rims, any the keke count. Manadum Auto Fix and Accessories Emma Oka and Sine Dadem, then where you mamma. Shisha Yechira Coin wa Dansuma and Asori down who are any KFC boy Henimu Ewon Crime. So open information and answer and Bisebia. Fresh 024-651-9369. Nadum Auto Fix and Accessories.
ECG is now cashless. My studio lights are always on. I never run out of power. With the ECG Power app, I'm able to report an issue, check my credit, buy power, all in real time whenever I need to. I don't worry if ECG vendors are closed. In the comfort of wherever I may be, I still keep my lights on thanks to the ECG Power app. You can simply use mobile money wallets, Visa or MasterCard. It does not attract e-levy. With the ECG Power app, you are totally covered. To download, go to the App Store or the Google Play Store. You don't have a smartphone? Don't worry. No internet? Don't worry. No data? Do not worry. Just dial *226#. This is what I call convenience in your hands. ECG Power app. A yes, simple pa.
My son, there's more blessing in giving than receiving. When you fear for and Kobo the makers in
The pneumatological aberration of the Lord revealed unto me this night that me and my household should go out into the world and bless the world.
Makers Electronics Company Limited, up to 67% discount. Our selected appliances.
This is what I call quintessential immaculatability.
Shisha the Makers Electronics Company Limited. Ewo Taifa Burkina Highway. Amasama Zongo Junction. Edike Pharmacy Dining. Oyer Fateman Boga Junction. Ashaman Valco Flat. Kumasi. Ahinema Kokobin. Asafu Bwachi Hospital Junction. Sakrani. Kuma. Number 9 Market.
And tell mom and dad about the Makers Blessing Attack program.
From 0552 222 253 and 0552 222 254. Terms and conditions apply.
The same got to move, I'm a sissy.
Well, good morning, Ghana. And this morning we have a lot on the table, but let me just first introduce the guest to you. I have with me Nana Akua-Avle. Nana Akua-Avle, I think this is the first time coming on the show, isn't it?
Yes, Annie.
She speaks for the NDC. You're welcome, Nana.
Thank you, and I'm very much happy to be here. I love your PTZ cameras.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, and it's a beautiful studio, so.
Thank you, thank you.
I'm happy I'm here today.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. She's a member of the NDC communications team. And also, we have Akosua Menu, who also hasn't been on the platform for a while because she's busy doing some things. But maybe I have to ask her, what have you been doing?
I've been busy watching you.
Akosua Menu is a Deputy Chief Executive Officer for the National Youth Authority, also speaks for the NPP as well. You're welcome. And how's Adenta? How's it doing? How's it going?
Adenta is well.
I know you've been there doing things. Are you winning?
Yes, I'm winning.
Is it difficult or is it fine?
It was extremely challenging. The terrain for in the politics currently is not that easy, especially given the times you are in. This month has been eventful. We observed Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Yes, I saw you doing.
Usually we just make it an October thing, but I think that the awareness is still lacking. Post the month of October, people just reset to their normal way of life. And you notice for some people, it feels to them that if they do not think about it, then it won't happen to them. So they don't even want to talk about illnesses or healthcare or going to the hospital or whatever. But it was great. We had about 500, over 500 participants, and I think they got some benefits from it. Constituency is peaceful and okay.
It's peaceful and okay. I like the way you put it. It's peaceful and okay. All right. Let me just do this before I actually even go into the issues. There's the issue of security that actually I think is worth considering. So I will pick on that this morning. I'll start with that this morning. So, but in the meantime, let me make some money. And of course, that issue has to do with the Garu Timpani, or Garu situation. I'll say Garu situation. Right, but for For now, ready to treat your callers to good tunes when you win incredible rewards. Earn points by purchasing, renewing, copying, or gifting your favorite caller tunes, and you can win amazing prizes based on your total accumulated points. Yep, build many points as possible, and you can win tons of data as well. So MTN says that it is a perfect way to entertain your callers with music and get rewarded, of course, at the same time. So visit the Caller Tunes MTN.com.gh. Caller Tunes is spelled CALLER capital TUNEZ, or just dial *1355# to visit or to get started on the MTN Caller Tune service. Promo lasts till 7th of November, so please, 7th of November, just 3 days after the MPP primaries 2023. So take notes. Terms and conditions apply. CelKit toothpaste says that sometimes it's difficult to brush your children's teeth because of the type of toothpaste you give them. But CelKit is actually flavored with strawberry, and you know how strawberry is it smells very nice and tastes good. Will actually help your children develop the personal attitude to brush their own teeth without you forcing them. So you want to protect their gum and also prevent cavities. Use CelKit toothpaste for freshness all day. And also, it's recommended for children between the ages of 2 and 6 years old. The products from Samara Company. CelKit's Happy Smile. Now, Lift and Elevators also says that you can enjoy the labor, your labor in your own home as you put up your mansion and you want some elevators to lift you and your goods. Is Lift and Elevators, and it's gotten you covered, so make sure you employ their services. It's a simple and self-supported elevator for both homes and offices, and can also lift your goods as well, as I already said. Visit Lift and Elevators at Sakumono or call them on 0200-535515 or send an email to elevatorsgh@gmail.com. elevatorsgh@gmail.com for your consultations and best solutions. Accra Business School says that you have to secure your future with that particular school by boosting your career with MSc degrees from KNUST. Pick a form from HRM, Communications and International Marketing, International Relations and Public Affairs, or IT Management. In 12 months, you can have an MBA. And you dive into the BSc programs as well in IT, Security and Cyber Crimes. It's IT Management and Business Management, endorsed by top universities in Ireland and Wales. And we also offer flexible entry payments and learning options convenient to you. So unlock your potential by visiting the www.abs.edu.gh or call them on 0263-888-555 or 0263-888-666. Visit the campus on Spintex Road, Christ Square. Let Accra Business School elevate your future today. And let me just finalize it by telling you that Angel Cola comes in different flavors if you're getting ready for some organizations or from programs, events. It comes in flavors of Angel Orange, Angel Mango, Angel Peach, and Angel Apple Lime. So get these flavors as the Angel drinks produce vitality and maintain fluid and normal balance. It's refreshing, invigorating, and exciting. Angel Cola is produced by Adonko Soft Drinks Beverages. So recommended for all children and adults as well. So contact them on 0244-832286 and 050-7878-668. Okay, so let me just take you into the world of security and how I think some people can be so emboldened. I don't know. I don't really understand what makes people feel they can do what they want to do at any point in time as far as crime is concerned. So we received this release from the Ministry of National Security yesterday, and it reads, press release on operations in Garu. On Tuesday, October 24, 2023, an irate youth group armed with AK-47 rifles, machetes, and other weapons besieged a team of 5 counter-terrorism intelligence officers deployed by the Ministry of National Security to Garu in the Upper East region on the critical special operation. Despite initial attempts to introduce themselves as national security personnel, the irate youth group proceeded to attack the officers by firing multiple gunshots at the black Toyota Land Cruiser in which the officers were seated. Following an escalation of the attacks on their vehicle, the officers drove to seek refuge at the Garu police station. The irate group subsequently pursued the officers, encircled the police station and fired multiple shots at the same time with the intention of killing the officers. The timely intervention of the Ghana Armed Forces enabled the safe evacuation of the national security personnel from the Garu police station. Further to the aforesaid development, the Ministry of National Security and the Ghana Armed Forces on Saturday, October 28, 2023, conducted a joint operation in Garu to seize weapons used by the operators of the attacks on the national security personnel. A number of the perpetrators have also been arrested, and we also have the Ministry of National Security deems the attack on the security personnel at the police station highly unacceptable and strongly condemns acts aimed at intimidating and harming officials of state security and intelligence agencies and impeding them from effectively executing their mandate to safeguard the peace and stability of Ghana. Whereas the Ministers of National Security works to promote active citizens' participation in safeguarding the peace and stability of our dear nation, deliberate acts that seek to jeopardize the lives of personnel of state security and intelligence agencies will not be countenanced. The ministry owes it a duty to protect the personnel of state security and intelligence agencies who have sworn an oath to, at all times, defend the people and the territorial integrity of Ghana against all forms of threats. And so that was the release that came from the national security, and I think it's captured on some of the front pages of the newspapers. Daily Statesman says a joint operation restores peace, security in Garu, and I think other papers. Ghanaian Observer says Garu attack, security personnel seize arms, now perpetrators and vow to safeguard Ghana's peace. Okay, I think the Finder also captures attackers of national security officers arrested. So this morning I was actually listening to radio and I heard some of the local officials, assemblymen and all, and the citizens saying, they will come to your door, your gate, your house, knock. When you open, they just start butchering, start harming people. I'm not sure what's going on the ground, but I think later we will get into, as news people, and find out also more from the people. But let me allow my guests to have a bite on this disturbing development. Yes, Akosua, let me start with you.
Okay. Good morning to your to viewers. It's been a while since I've been here.
Yes.
I mean, without a doubt, what you read was quite disturbing, and I think on the back end of it, I'm happy that the officers were quick thinking to go to the police station, hopefully to get some reinforcements. It doesn't report any fatality.
No.
It doesn't.
No.
Because usually when you hear exchange of bullets and whatnot, chances are somebody probably got hurt or maimed in the process. But in terms of motivation, it doesn't spell it out in the release. But sometimes it comes back to conversations of local terrorism and some of the issues that seem to plague the region as a whole, not just the country. I was trying to get some information in terms of Garu, but Garu is not a cross-border town. Otherwise, I would have linked it to, some sort of unrest that has been plaguing our border towns, especially up north for a while. But it's comforting to note that our security services acted quickly and the Ghana Armed Forces also stepped in. Usually with these things, back, I remember there was a time, a couple of years back, where some policemen were complaining that they do have arms, but they don't have even bullets to fight back in the event that they are attacked. I believe that there should be some training routinely, especially to spot such persons, because clearly they move in groups.
So this is what the statement is saying. It says that in recent attacks follow a series of attacks on security officers in the Upper East region in recent times. Notably, on January 23, 2023, a police constable was shot dead, and in Gigande. And on April 3, 2023, an immigration officer, I remember the immigration officer's story, was also killed in Boko. Additionally, on September 21, 2023, a police escort was shot at Bawi.
So there's a fixation on
College of Education.
There's a fixation on security personnel. And beyond that, do you remember there was it was literally a murder. A lawyer was driving, I think, from one point. He was quite popular.
This young lawyer.
Yes, I don't remember his name.
I don't remember his name.
I recall it was trending over a period of time. It was most unfortunate. But then the back end of it was a whole story about some issue. It wasn't just family issues mixed with some business-related issue or whatever. But a specific, coordinated attempt to target security persons, I believe that national security would have their information and would act accordingly. Sometimes it's not for our interest to have the full facts in the public domain, and I believe that they will do what is necessary to protect their own citizens.
But what is our security installations, or what's the strength of our security installations? Because I can't understand for the life of me how from January we went through to April, September, and then it goes on to March. Okay, we have March. Earlier in March, they say some military men also came under attack in Bari, Buabula. And then we have May 13, an ambulance was attacked at Bazua in Binduri. And the series of attacks, I don't know how strong our intelligence on the ground is.
There was a fight in, I think, the Kusasi enclave. Beyond that, there's been unrest in the Boku story. I mean, you covered it at best. And of course, let's not be blind to the fact that terrorism is something that is slowly trying to gain some grounds, especially in the region. But it's, in terms of the plotting you've made, literally every quarter, some sort of issue happening. When it comes to terrorism, there's no justification for what they attempt to do. It's just to cause harm and chaos and unrest. What validates it? It's a mystery to me. For instance, you take Ghana, for instance. What have we done to any neighboring state or any country to warrant attacks, even on our security personnel? But a coordinated effort on our security personnel is also psychological, in the sense that you'd have persons or personnel who wouldn't want to even be deployed to that area. You're going to have a shortfall of people who even want to enlist or enroll in the force just because of the risk inherent. But again, the release stated clearly that they got support, and they got support on time. I believe that what is most crucial is intelligence. What is the root cause of it? Why are they being targeted? And for that, sometimes we as lay people may not get the information. You might get it. I mean, as a journalist, you have your plugs and your sources in there. So it would be to find out ultimately what is making it what it is. And yes, 4 times in a year is a bit too much. You know, when it comes to Nigeria, for instance, you hear harrowing stories of Christian communities being targeted. They move from house to house and literally shoot everybody. And it doesn't make the news. You wouldn't hear it on BBC, you wouldn't hear it on CNN. It's only on their local stations, and probably you see on social media. But it gets to a point people feel it's almost as if this is what we have to live with. So it's the grace of God that will keep us. But when it comes to Ghana and our security, I mean, with the, for instance, with the police force, one of the things the IGP, I believe, has been able to do with the support of government is these, there are these huge trucks. I think they call them FPUs or something. I've forgotten what that stands
I think
for.
It's FPU.
But they are stationed within districts, and when there's some sort of issue, they move speedily in that regard. I'm not an expert on security issues, but it's always somewhat comforting for us generally to believe that Ghana is a peaceful country and a peaceful state. But when things like this happen, it causes worries and concerns, especially for us down south, because we don't experience, you wouldn't necessarily hear this. The one-off armed robbery here and then, often, more often than not, the police are also quick to arrest, and I think they've been doing that a lot more lately, and it's also reduced the spate of that.
So the FPU is actually a formed police unit.
Okay.
For FPU, that's what it stands for.
But they come with some sort of armored, it has this, and they're stationed within certain areas, and it gives some source of, comfort at best that, you can easily reach out to them and call. But I'm happy they were able to get to their station. I'm also happy that the armed forces moved in quickly to support. It could mean that they picked intel quick enough for them to move in to help. But was there an arrest? I didn't hear that part. I didn't actually catch the story.
So,
have they been arrested?
Yes, they've been arrested.
Okay. So those were the images we saw.
Yes, on the, yeah.
So those were the.
So if you check,
it wasn't the police.
Something like this. So actually, they've been arrested.
And they're Ghanaians.
Yes,
they are Ghanaian.
I think the names were not given. The names of the arrested have not been provided, but they have been arrested, which I think. Maybe you have to ask for more questions. Well, it's just coming. The updates of the arrest is just coming in, so we're yet to get some more details about these men. Let me see. I'm just trying to run through the paper and see if I'll see any name, but not name yet.
But it's important to know that I think when we have engagements, especially when it comes to social mobility, the AFCFTA Act, you opening our borders. Encouraging trade and whatnot. One of the things that keeps coming up is our security, and it's just not for sovereign states. It's for Africa as a whole. And the reality that when it comes to our security, it will be threatened by certain people or persons. And most unfortunately, it's always the youth that they weaponize in this regard. I think that I remember there was an uproar a couple of years ago when a student of a university had signed up to join. Yes, you'd always have some radicals or some people who want to just test the limits of the law or of our peace. And no matter what, those people exist with us. That's why we have law enforcement. That's why we have police. That's why we have military. That's why we have our armed forces. You just needed to protect the state and, of course, the citizens as well. But what they've done, it means that for all the stakeholders in that vicinity beyond have to educate their people. There has to be intense education to spot such persons. They move a certain way, they act a certain way. I mean, sometimes it's easy to quite pinpoint some sort of, wrongdoing, especially on their part. But some education needs to go on. But there's no justification for this, and they need to be dealt with. And I believe that they will see the full force of the law in that regard.
Nana, you would have a bite on this. I mean, I still can't wrap my mind around it. How it's been almost a year, and there's been series of targets of security personnel. I'm just, I don't know. Because I don't know, I'm not sure if our security installations are not able to pick up intelligence about there is a bit of disputes, in that area, in that enclave. I appreciate that, but by now we must have been able to gather some intelligence of this target, because it looks like there's a target so that it will slow down the work of security personnel to ensuring peace in that particular area. So we should be able to pick this intelligence, and I don't know, are we safe? Even we in the southern part are not safe. If you think that you are, you have to be worried at this point in time.
Yes, Annie. Good morning once again. Let me say quickly a belated happy birthday to my second daughter. She was 18 years yesterday.
Your second daughter is 18?
Yes, please.
Your second daughter is your sister?
And my first daughter is almost 20 years.
So she's your big
and she's
sister.
in the university.
Okay.
And the second one is in grade 12. So let me say happy belated birthday to her. Annie.
Are they the ones who went to court some time ago? Okay, let's continue.
Annie, the security of the nation
I understand.
It's very, very important. Let's talk about security for now.
Wow.
We'll talk about the court issues later. But for now, let's discuss the issues at hand, okay? The security of every nation, Annie, is extremely important. And when you ask me, I really want to condemn this act. In this era, we shouldn't be seeing such things happening in a democratic era. In a democratic dispensation, such things shouldn't be happening. But then what I want to say is that I think we have not ensured the even distribution of resources in the country. Sometimes it feels as if those at the top, the north and the southern areas, are not part of Ghana. And so when things are being distributed, or when there are developments going on, I think it's sometimes difficult for them to have their share. And so that's how come they are becoming unbecoming, and they are becoming rowdy. In a country where unemployment is so high, in a country where the youth feels they don't matter, in a country where the government is not creating employment for the youth, what comes about through that is that the youth now become indisciplined. They now opt to do other things just to sometimes while away the time, just to make some little money, just to do so much unnecessary things. Moving forward, I think those at the top, the north, the south, and the eastern areas, they all have to be captured when it comes to distribution of resources in the community. Because when the youth feels like they are not part of the nation, that is when they get up to do all these, deviant behaviors, and that can cause a coup in the nation. When you look at other countries that coups have happened, it is not because they had good living, and that's how come they are fighting. Coups happen when the government is not really putting in measures to ensure that the people are really enjoying and have peace of mind in the country. That is where coup and all those things happen. So I really condemn this act, and I will plead with the government in power, which is the NPP, to send the military and ensure that whatever is the root cause of this problem is resolved.
But you know, when it comes to the northern disputes, it's really been decades of unrest in that particular area. It's not a today problem. I'm not sure if it is what is giving birth to some of these little tyrants who are just frustrating everybody.
It is not a today's problem, but somebody can make a difference. A government in power can make a difference. They can send people there and make sure there is calm and peace. So in as much as it has the history of violence, it doesn't mean it should remain like that forever. So to me, I think the government should send the military, and I still insist they have to see the root cause of the problem and resolve it. Nothing is impossible when you're determined to fix it. And so this chaos and this fight and unrest in those areas, I believe when we are desperate and we put mechanisms and structures in place to fix it, we will be able to maintain calm in those areas. Annie?
I once asked a question to the Ghana Police area. I think we had a press conference or something when I asked, you know, what it means to lose a police officer. And the response I got, this was about 3 years ago. The response I got is stuck till now. So each time an officer is, you know, harmed or murdered, it really hurts me. And the question was what it takes from us when a police officer is killed.
It's really painful when a police officer...
Yes, all you need to do is to check the current situation of the statistics of a police officer to the citizen.
Yeah.
Or to the civilian. Or maybe the military to the civilian. Just check the statistics. Then you know what you have cost if you killed one police officer. You know?
And I think they should be well equipped. They should have bulletproofs. The bullion vans should be well, what do you call it? Should have some there are some bulletproof bullion vans around. I think we can get those ones as well. And the police must be well equipped. They must be resourced enough to be able to fight the battles and maintain peace and order in this country.
I don't know.
It's very sad.
It's disturbing. It's just disturbing. I'm not
Extremely.
sure. So if we have one police officer to 500 citizens or civilians, if you kill one, then you know that 500 civilians are exposed.
Yes.
That's simple. It's as simple as that. So if we have a military officer to 1,000 civilians and that military officer is murdered, that's 1,000 civilians exposed. It was a disturbing one, so I couldn't leave it. And Akoso, I think you've been following how I get passionate about all these Boko issues. So sometimes I can't walk past it. But let me take this opportunity to congratulate my colleagues in the journalism field. Let's get into that, where we had Erastus Asaridonko emerging the winner of the 2022 Journalist of the Year. Congratulations. And of course, my colleague, okay, so that's the two pictures on the screen. Della Russell also winning the Agri-Food Security Reporter of the Year. So Della Russell, congratulations. But also with, of course, you couldn't have left by taking a picture with the, the overall winner, Erastus Asaridonko, of course. So we will celebrate them. But in the meantime, let me also say a happy birthday to former president of Ghana Journalists Association, Afel Moni. Today is your birthday. Happy birthday to you, and I wish you the best. I hope that all you left for us to do, we will be able to continue doing that. I was trying to locate some birthday requests. I cannot locate it now, so maybe later I'll do that. But I will get to Della Russell and, of course, the overall Best Journalist of the Year, Erastus Asaridonko, for winning the Journalist of the Year. That one, I think, Nana, I'll start with you on that. I'm looking for the story, but I'll start with you on that. You know the work Erastus has done over the years.
Yeah.
You know, dedicating his time for what we all started. Now, I remember when we started the fight, coming together as a consortium of journalists. I wasn't even with Metro TV. I remember I was with GN, and we were all wearing red, representing, you know, what we wanted to put across to authorities to help us fight, you know, Galamsey. And we know about years ago we received the bad news that Ghana is likely to be importing water in the next 20 years or maybe less. Now less, because, you know, it was given to us years ago. So that's where we stand. But when it comes to the fight of Galamsey, have we really won the fight? That's a question. I don't know if I should say yes.
Let me congratulate Erastus. I want to say a big congratulations to him. He has really done a good job and he deserves it. In fact, everybody is happy for him. The media, the public, we are all happy that he took this Galamsey issue seriously and provided us with evidence, pictorial evidences, for us to see exactly what this government has done with our water bodies and our forest reserves. Annie, we were in this country when the President of the Republic of Ghana told us that he was going to fight Galamsey with his strength and might. He said he would put his presidency on the line to fight Galamsey. Unfortunately, we were thinking like by now our water bodies would be so clean because we trusted his words. In fact, Ghanaians believed in him and trusted him to ensure that the Galamsey fight is really dealt with. Unfortunately, we have heard all sorts of stories, we've seen all sorts of videos that indicates that this government that set out to fight Galamsey, Annie, is not doing so at all. Rather, per the evidences, like Professor Frimpong Boateng's report, the Erastus Asari's documentary, are all evidence to the fact that the government that set out to fight Galamsey is actually not doing so. What they are rather doing is that those at the top are rather using the Chinese and whoever to actually destroy our water bodies and our forest. Annie, if you read the Frimpong Boateng report, there was a portion in that report that stated that at a point, the women could not go to the forest areas, the forest reserves, to cut woods for, what do you call it? Is it pistols? The one for pounding fufu?
Yeah,
it's pistol.
yeah.
Yes. They couldn't even get it. Because when they try going to the forest to cut those woods, the Chinese people are sent after them to beat them. They were beating our women.
They go into the forest to cut pistol. Which forest? Is it reserve forest?
Yes, that's where they get the wood.
Forest.
Yes, I think they cut wood or something from there to do the mortar and the pistol for the fufu.
But why would they go into a reserve forest to cut wood and mortar?
It was captured in Professor Frimpong's report. Do you have the report?
Yes, I do.
Then you can look at it. It was captured inside. And it was also captured that...
So the Chinese is there mining, and then the women to go and cut their woods.
You know, the women go into the forest to cut firewood, to cut things, to do their things. What they are saying, per the Frimpong, what his report is saying that those people that go to the forest, have you seen it? Have you seen that portion of it?
I'm listening to you.
If you see it, you can read it.
If I get the page, I could be...
Yes, when you get the page, you can look at it. And this is what Professor Frimpong Boateng told Ghanaians, that the Chinese were doing to our own indigents, to our own people. In Professor Frimpong Boateng reports, he indicated that those people that were mining are government officials. They are within power, and he mentioned names. A lot of names were mentioned, dates were given, pictures were given. And based on that, there should be investigations on that. Unfortunately, the Chief Justice says that there is no basis for that report to be investigated, which is very, very unfortunate. Even with Erastus and documentary, Annie, doesn't it have evidence enough? With the documentaries, Erastus, now you can see the water bodies, you can see our forest reserves, you can see how they've been destroyed, you can see how the water is discolored, you can see, you know, in the olden days, we used to drink from the tap. And you could open your tap, do your hand, put your hands together like a cup, and then drink from the tap. These days, we can't do that. These days, water is even a commodity. If you don't have money, you can't drink water. Water is expensive. A bag of water now is 10 cedis. In 2016, a bag of water was 2 cedis. So what is my point? My whole point is that this government that set out to fight Galamsey, Annie, has not done much. Rather, they have complicated the issues for Ghanaians and they have made it worse. And so anything regarding Galamsey is a serious business, as serious as Cecilia Dape's case, and must also be investigated. There should be a committee to investigate the Galamsey issues that are happening in this country. And people should be sent to the forest reserves. They should be sent to their river bodies to see what is going on.
All these.
What have they done?
They've sent task force. They've set up committees. I don't know what government.
They set up committees on the Galamsey issue. And at the end of the day, the chairperson of the committee, who is Professor Frimpong Boateng, brought out a report to say that this Galamsey we are fighting is not working because the people in MPP, the people in government, are really behind it. And so, as a president that you were willing and wanted to fight Galamsey with all your might, how come you are not taking this report seriously? How come you are not taking the documentary Erastus has done seriously? How is it that the president, when the report came out, said it was a hearsay? So, Annie, if you ask me, this government is really not doing anything about the Galamsey issue. They don't really care about our water bodies. They don't really care about forest reserves. And they have really muddied everything and made it worse. That is the truth. You see, it's about time, and it is our ethical and moral duty to speak to the issues confronting our country now. When the things are not going well, we have to speak to them. And I think this Galamsey issue, per Professor Frimpong Boateng's report and Erastus Asari's documentary, there should be another committee formed to really give us vivid details and vivid accounts on what Professor Frimpong Boateng has told Ghanaians.
Because to be fair, to a large or very little extent, depending on how you're looking at it, Erastus's reports brings to fore the situation, how the situation really looks like.
Very, very bad.
Okay, but have we used that report? It's like being in a university and, you know, people writing theses and stuff. When we finish, we just throw it on the shelves, and that's it. We don't really care about these theses anymore.
I think the special prosecutor, the special prosecutor's office is supposed to investigate issues of corruption. And so this Galamsey issue falls under them. And I think they are supposed to investigate it. And that is what I'm saying, that I think they started the investigations, but along the line, the CJ is saying that there is no basis and there is no evidence. And I'm saying that there is evidence enough, more than enough evidence for us to investigate this matter to the latter and call those who were using the Chinese, call those who were involved in the Galamsey, call those who were using their power to mine when they are not supposed to destroy our water bodies. All of them must be called to order and investigated. We need answers. Professor Frimpong Boateng is a credible person. He's a German trained. He cannot come out with such a report. And government who set out to fight Galamsey will condemn it.
How about government saying that we call him and he doesn't show up?
They called who?
Professor Frimpong.
Professor Frimpong Boateng has stated time and again that everything he has is what is in the document. And so what is stopping them from picking the document to really work on it? You see, when you go to the law courts, and I stand to be corrected, when you go to the law courts, Annie, when you are put in the box, you are asked guilty or not guilty. Annie, when you say not guilty or when you say guilty, it doesn't mean the issue has ended. You will not be discharged based on the fact that you said I'm not guilty at all. What I am saying is that the CJ, the Chief Justice, who is saying that there is no basis, what measures has he taken to ensure that what Professor Frimpong Boateng is saying is false? What did he do? Did he send team to the forest? Has he sent people to the forest? You don't need Professor Frimpong Boateng to be appearing every day to be saying the same thing over and over and over and over again. He has made his point. He has written official reports. He was the chairperson of the Interministerial Committee. What Professor Frimpong Boateng said is that along the line, all those people that were part of the committee left him. And why did the people leave Professor Frimpong Boateng to fight alone if they have no interest? Why did they leave him to fight this Galamsey alone? At a point, he got frustrated and decided to write an official document. This is a very, very serious document that must be taken seriously to the presidency for them to launch what do you call it, an investigations into it, so that those people that have been mentioned, Kojo Oplonkuman's name was mentioned, Gabi Ochidaku's name was mentioned, a lot of the, what do you call it, names have been mentioned, those in governments have been mentioned. They all have to be called and asked. Now the CJ brought out a document and said, in that particular document, he said, all those that were mentioned have been called, and all of them have denied the allegations, and that is the reason there is no basis for investigations. And I am saying to you, that cannot be. That cannot be at all, Nani. We need to investigate this Galamsey, and we need to hold President Akufo-Addo to his words. We need him to come and give an address on the Galamsey issues to Ghana. We need him to come and address us as just the way he was doing with COVID, addressing the nation and giving us updates on the COVID issues. We need the president to give us updates on the fight he set out, on the way he set out to fight the Galamsey. He should come and give us updates on what he has done so far. He and his team, what have they done so far to fight the Galamsey? Annie.
Right. So let me just quote here. So when it comes to the reports where he writes successful fight, it was clear from the beginning that the fight was not going to be easy. Good. It would take years of hard work, education, dedication, and attitudinal changes to bring about the change we desire. There is not the first time, this is not the first time Ghana is fighting this menace of illegal mining. However, for the first time, the fight has been sustained, and an alternative to the illegal Galamsey practice, that is community mining, had been worked out and is being implemented with great success. What great success means is questionable for me, because when you come to challenges, process, most members of the Inter-Ministerial Committee abandoned the committee.
Exactly.
Now, apart from the Ministers for Sanitation and Lands and Local Government and Rural Development, all the others abandoned the committee. To make matters worse, the chairman was personally attacked, vilified, and framed for things he had not done. Such assault came from many people, including some of the ministers who effectively left the committee. So when you write this as part of the challenges, at what point do you describe success? You know, in this report, the same report that we're actually dealing with. But let me take a break. When we come back, I'll give Akosua the chance to, speak. I'll be back shortly.
MTN.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ampedu.
Good afternoon, Mr. Asari.
How is business doing?
My business is collapsing.
Why is your business collapsing?
I sold my products and services to my clients on credit, and my debtors are not paying their debts.
Have you heard of Rosic Consult Limited, a debt recovery company operating in all the 16 regions of Ghana?
Not at all.
Mr. Ampedu, all you need to do is to contact them on their customer service line. I recommend Rosic Consult Limited, a debt recovery company to financial institutions, businessmen and businesswomen, other companies, and also individuals. Rosic Consult has 98.4% debt recovery rate. We have professional debt recovery managers. You are assured of swift debt recovery. No recovery, no commission. For Rosic Consult Limited, no more write-offs. And we pre-finance the recovery.
Enjoy the fruits of your labor, they say, but as humans, aging and physical infirmity stands our way of enjoying our mansions and homes. It often becomes challenging, if not impossible, to use our stairways day in, day out. With portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators, PVs, you are assured of unlimited enjoyment of your mansions and homes. It's a self-supported elevator for vertical movement of humans and goods at homes and offices. The original comes in 3 custom-made models with wheelchair accessibility. Call it luxury, but it's a necessary imperative for vertical mobility. Do not let aging or infirmity limit you. Get one for your easy vertical mobility at home. It's affordable and can be installed in just 3 days without modification to your existing building. It's however easier to incorporate it at the construction stage. We also have traditional Fuji elevators and escalators for your high-rise buildings and malls. Visit Lifts and Elevators Company Limited at Sakumono for your elevators nationwide. For free consultation to call or WhatsApp us on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators, the elevator people.
Ready for something refreshing and great tasting? For your kids' enjoyment?
Angel Cola.
For your graduation enjoyment?
Angel Cola.
Beach hangout?
Angel Cola.
For all your refreshing moments?
Angel Cola.
For your parties, get-togethers, events, and celebrations, enjoy a chilled bottle of Angel Cola. Radio Grandma, today is your day. Over to you.
Thank you.
Enjoyment Cola.
Angel Cola.
The Enjoyment Cola. Enjoy all your moments and fun time with Angel Cola. This advert is FDA approved.
Over 18 years in business, Appointed Time Printing Limited has delivered quality service to some of Ghana's well-known brands. With our equipment capacity, we are able to deliver 1,500 pieces of polo and t-shirts in 1 hour. This is only possible with us. For retailers and wholesalers, we offer for sale high-quality polo shirts and t-shirts in different colors at affordable prices. We have a one-stop shop for all creative designs and billboards, 3D signages, flexi banners, car branding, stickers and posters. Locate us at the old GNTC building near Swansea Shopping Arcade, Accra. Contact us on 0501 454165, 0501 454167. Connect with us on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook at Appointed Time GH. Appointed Time Printing Limited. Our printing is a...
For over 20 years of serving the world with herbal and alternative medicine, we've been successful in treating complicated medical conditions with a perfect combination of herbal and alternative methods of treatments like homeopathy, naturopathy, reflexology, and many more. We deliver excellent and effective service to people from all walks of life through scientific and traditional means. We have a well-equipped laboratory with advanced diagnostic and treatment devices to help detect your illness, so we know the right medication to be given. At Amen Scientific Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital, we are proud manufacturers of our own herbal medication. Our zeal and passion to save lives with our patients at heart and outstanding achievements since 1996 has won us several awards. That is why we say, go herbal, go Amen. We are located everywhere in all the regions. Amen Scientific Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital. Allahu Shafi, God is the He.
Step into success with Accra Business School. Boost your career with our prestigious MSc degrees from KNUST. Pick from Human Resource Management, Communication and International Relations, Public Affairs. In just 12 months, our MBA can be yours. Dive into our BSc programs in IT Security and Cybercrime, IT Management and Business and Management, endorsed by top universities in Ireland and Wales. We offer flexible entry, payment and learning options. It's time to unlock your potential and take flight. Visit www.abs.edu.gh or dial 0263 888 555. Let Accra Business School elevate your future today.
Inside Black Star Press Limited, grow inside the invective minds, evolving concepts, and the creative trends the printing press you need now. Witness the beauty, diversity, and natural wonder with our works. Inside Black Star Press Limited, in association with Lionhead Group of Companies. Call us now on 0200-880-000 for all your print works. Black Star Press Limited, a worldwide reputation for quality printing.
Hey, give it to me! Hey, man! Go! One time! Stop! Ah, enough you guys, so continue.
Prepare yourself to unleash even more moolah by staking from 1 Ghana cedi to 350 Ghana cedis. And you could win 26 times your stake on the exciting new Pick 1 game from Game Park. Play by dialing *946# on all networks via our website or download the Game Park app on www.gameparkgames.com. Choose your Pick 1 number from 1 to 36. Place your stake and watch our live draws on Adum TV at 9 a.m., 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. daily.
Hey, live life like me with Game Park. Game Park, more moolah, more power.
This game is regulated by the National Lottery Authority, not for persons under 18. Play responsibly.
Welcome back to the program. I'm still in the studio with Nane Kuavle, communications team member for the NDC, and also the deputy CEO for NYA, Akosua Minu, is also with me. Now, I think we're getting into Anekia. So we've seen your warmer reference, right? Yeah. On page 12. Page 12 of the report. It says that consequently, the poor indigents are unable to harvest even warmer from the forest to pound their fufu. People engaged in cane basket weaving are denied of climbing twigs and ropes needed for their trade. Game hunters were equally unhappy. But Akosua, let me ask you before I go to Akosua. This forest we're talking about, or some of the forests we're talking about, are reserved forests, right? So first of all, as we don't want the Chinese in that forest, we equally don't want Ghanaians in that forest. Or when there are some clauses that allow certain activities in reserved forests.
Okay, that one we would have to find out from those that have the idea, because I know definitely we have to pound fufu, and fufu we use mortar and pestle, we use the warmer. And so there should be a law allowing them to go into the forest to cut those woods for that purpose. Because if there isn't, then how then do we get the warmer and the mortar and pestle to pound our fufu? So possibly there is a law that we have to find out from the experts that allow the indigents to go and get those ones to produce or manufacture
domestic activities.
Domestic for the warmer, so we can use it for our domestic activities. But for the mining, for the illegal mining, we are saying that illegal mining is not right. And so the Chinese that were mining illegally must be investigated, not those that were going to cut something for warmer. They don't need any investigations, because we know we need a warmer to pound our fufu. Except if they are also not allowed to do so. Somebody must tell us. Those who know about it must tell us.
All right.
And then let me correct this. I think when I was talking earlier, I was using CJ instead of AG. I mean, the Attorney General. I was referring to the Attorney General. So I'm happy I've corrected that.
All right, thanks. Akosua.
Yes. I think this won't be the first time that I've sat here to discuss Galamsey issues. And over time, given the measures that have been put in place, there seems to be times where feedback is that the activities have been clamped down at best. And then reports will come that some persons who on the ground should help mitigate or desist from engaging or helping people engage at times seem to be complicit. The hurtful thing about Galamsey is, and I've said it here before on this very studio, on this very platform, that the fight against it is almost like fighting cancer. That when the symptoms first show up, you need to move in fast. Whether it's radiation, whether it's chemo, whatever holistic therapy exists, you need to move in. You do not wait for it to get to stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. And if for nothing at all, we know that at stage 4, your chances of survival is next to nothing. It takes, the fire altar and NSPPD pastor to get involved. But it goes beyond that. I remember as far back as 2012, I recall, and I do not want to mention a journalist's name, but there was a particular journalist that had sent a report to the then Jubilee House to highlight the ills of Galamsey and its impact. The decision then, because 2012 was an election year, was that it wouldn't be touched. And like any cancer, the more you wait, the more it festers and evolves. Subsequently, there have been changes. What are the changes? I want to just run through it quickly before we come to Professor Frimpong Boateng and his, his allegations or whatnot. We've moved from fines. They used to fine them. Look at a profitable venture as we've been made to believe. We've seen farmers saying that they no longer want to farm on their cocoa farms because gold is way more in terms of value, and they get more out of it than they farming and waiting for the rains and praying and getting fertilizer or not getting fertilizer and whatnot. We've moved to actually going to the courts. We are no longer fining them because they can easily pay. You fine me, I pay, I move on. They can pay as many times as possible. I remember there was a joke about, many years ago, a famous comedian, I don't want to mention his name now, he said, knowing that Ghana police like to will take money from you when there are traffic offenses. When he's overspeeding, when he's stopped, he doesn't stop, he just rolls down his window and throws out cash. I remember I think I was even 20 years at the time. I remember this so well because I was yet to start driving. So you can imagine the impression it had on me. But we've prosecuted and 46 persons are in jail now because of Galamsey. 46. And many more are still lined up. So the AG is working. A committee was formed. At the time, the minister in charge of Environment, Technology, Innovation, what was his portfolio? It was pretty long, it was pretty big. I was asking myself, why does a heart doctor want to be in that space? He could have been the Minister of Health, but maybe that's what he lobbied for. He subsequently became.
But that question should go to the appointee.
Fine,
the appointor.
Appointor, but people lobby, and we know that as much as you can lobby and justify, but the justification is embedded in your interest. Why am I asking this? Why am I saying this? So he becomes the chairman of the committee. Even during his time as chairman, people complained that they were unable to work with him. It got to a time they said that they literally left him to his own devices. We had issues of, under his own watch, we had the issues of missing excavators, right? Where Horace, and wherever he is, hello to him, Eko Ewusi. Now, Eko is not your poster child for all things perfect and good and sanctimonious. But maybe because it was Horace or Ekowusi saying so, he wasn't believed that, I'm not the one making these decisions. If excavators are seized and they are released, it's the chairman of the committee who subsequently releases them. It's his say-so. He has the final word. There was a lot of back and forth. Now, it comes to light that he actually owns a mining company where he and his wife are directors of the company. His own son has tagged himself King of Gold, amongst other things. Now, the question is, at what point in time did his sense of ethical responsibility kick in? Is it when he was dropped as minister? Where was his moral intuition, which has all of a sudden erupted? Which other way to describe it? His conscience of virtues, where he's laying fingers and pointing blame at everybody but himself. And the question everybody asked, and I used to think that it was a petty question, but the more I think about what has transpired in the last couple of weeks, the more I realize that there's some validity to asking that question. That is it because he was dropped as a minister, because he's no longer in that space to supervise the activities of his son. There's a letter as far back as 2014, concessions, asking for concessions, not to say that the work they were doing were illegal. But of course, if you have a company and you yourself is also engaged in one, giving your sense of moral intuition, giving your sense of ethical responsibility, all of a sudden you want to champion yourself as the advocate for all things good, and you want to clamp down their activities. You should have recused yourself as the chairman of the committee, or even to say that I do not want that position, because there are certain things I might be doing that will look bad on government or implicate government. So when it comes to him, and I absolutely admire all that he's achieved, especially in the medical space, but on this score, his utterances, his actions, and his inactions are not aligned in the interest of the very good he wants to champion. They aren't. He's the last person to talk about it. And if you do believe that you have a case, provide the evidence. He should. You do not say, and when she said, oh, but he's written, you don't write something and leave it there. Follow it through. Show up. If it's testimonies you have to give, show up. Mention the names. There are people that have done this without fear or favor, subsequently reneging on some of the utterances they made because it was based on hearsay. But if you do feel that, as chairman of the committee, you have evidence, show up and give that evidence. Because the president said...
How do you want him to show up?
Oh, Annie, for him to say, and I heard it myself, that
so let me
he's provided...
For the AG to say that, well, I investigated, I called him, he didn't show up. How does the AG on his own calls him in secret? No, the public knows nothing about it. Right now it's his word against Prof. We don't know he called him. We don't know what investigation he has conducted.
In the same way,
and Prof mentioned names in the report.
In the same
so
way,
for you to come and say that, well, I have investigated.
All of us sitting here. All of us sitting here.
That's not enough.
All of us sitting here. If I was to say that Nanekua is wearing more gold than all of us combined, and as such she's engaged in Galamsey, so we should investigate her. Nanekua can easily say that she's not a government official. She's not paid by her taxes. She can't be roped in any allegation whatsoever. You understand? But then you have alleged something, that she's a beneficiary of someone's activities. He comes to say that giving the tenor, right, of his, as chairman of the committee or whatnot, he has some intelligence, or he was privy to certain things. He threw some of his own colleague ministers under the bus, and then also called them to apologize, that he wasn't sure of what he was saying. He did that. Now, there are things that happen behind the scenes that we also can't always put out there. But in terms of the AG calling him in secret is not necessarily something that needs to happen. He needs to put into the same documents that he sent or the public letters he's writing, mention Annie Ampofo, CEO of Gold Star Limited, concession Bibiani 1 and 2, forests location, whether it's close to a river or close to something. List all those things. List the times they went in. If as chairman of the committee, he has information more than anybody else. But you can't just, especially the timing of it, throw it there, leave it and say, I've said it, so you if you really want to catch them, go and catch them. Then we'll start with him. And it makes me wonder, is he preempting something? Because if we are to start, you yourself, there's a company that you are led to be involved with, that you and your wife are directors of. Your son is also in a company. And then as chair of the committee, especially, and I will say it again, in terms of his ethical responsibility, if we are to say that, okay, you knew this, and people hide things all the time. It doesn't matter whether you're a state agent, people can hide things so brilliantly that no matter what you do, unless they volunteer the information, you might never have it. What is he preempting to be mentioning all these things and throwing it out there when he himself was complicit? So I think that it's not enough to allege and grant interviews.
Was Prof. Frimpong a complicit to Galamsey activities?
I'm saying that when you're complicit, is not you standing in the mine yourself and digging.
Yeah, that's fine. But
but in terms of what he's saying now,
on the basis of what you
on the basis of what you are saying now, he was chairman of the committee, meaning that he supervised all that. Did he turn a blind eye then? Do you understand? So yes, if we are going to investigate and find persons culpable, then he himself, it starts with him. So what is he preempting? His son Jojo, there's a letter out there that I saw as far back as 2014.
I know.
You saw that as
yes.
well. So if you know, and this is sometimes what we say when it comes to the political class or the elites, whatnot, that you know the things you're supposed to do, you know the things you're not supposed to do, but you get in a certain position and you turn a blind eye. This man was all things upright, just. Hey, a heart surgeon, one mistake, you are gone. I mean, you can't buy hats or body parts at ShopRite or Game or wherever. Now, you consequently get yourself from his own way of handling affairs. People on the committee dropped out. He had issues with Eko Rusi. Eko Rusi, by virtue of his, I don't want to say Eko is a naughty boy or whatever, but there are some people that people don't want to believe, especially when they are when you pitch them against persons like Frimpong Boateng. So you and Frimpong Boateng are standing there saying something. Who are people likely to believe? Frimpong Boateng. So there are issues that were leveled against him. But again, in terms of evidence or things we can hold on to, it seemed literally impossible to believe that he would do those things. Only for him to, and there's a certain pattern in terms of what he says, how he recovers from it, apologies that would tacitly go to certain persons. And it pains me to even talk about it. I'm telling you, Anya, as I'm sitting here talking about this, my mother is sitting at home just probably like this, that, I shouldn't even be in a position to discuss it. But it's important because you've laid a certain foundation in a fight that we are all up in arms over. Because like you said, if it gets to a point where we can't even drink water, people are making a rational decision based on the now, on what an irrational decision based on the now, on what they can get now. It's all about money. Nobody is thinking in the end that you make all the money, but you have to import everything you have to eat and drink. Then what's the point of it? So when it comes to him,
this committee was set up to fight the Galamsey menace. From your account, I can conclude that Professor Frimpong Boateng failed to the task that he was actually put to. And eventually that would lead to the fact that this government has failed in fighting corruption, in fighting Galamsey.
You mean, has he failed?
Yes.
I don't need to say he's failed. He's come to admit he's failed. But he's shifting the blame on someone else.
So he failed?
I believe he failed. If the worst thing for any leader in any position is to not account for your stewardship. So, when Nanaya was talking about fufu, and I think she likes, Nanikre was talking about fufu, I think she likes fufu because the fufu woman are not watching. But if we're to have a conversation on fufu, deforestation. Look at fufu, ways of making fufu now. Now people have discovered that you blend the cassava and the plantain and you just knead it and you are done. There's no pounding or physical exertion or anything. So why should we even encourage fufu?
No.
But of course,
no, that argument.
That area.
As I sit here, when you do that argument, I will not.
Deforestation.
No, I will not.
Fufu trumps deforestation.
No, I would not support the blending of fufu. They are two different things.
To save the trees, you blend your fufu.
No, I won't save any tree
to blend your fufu. Okay, so let Annie know that her food and the fufu matters to her more than the blending. But let's get to the substantive. Because by the way,
and it's still the nation's. I think and it's still the nation's interest. It must be the nation's interest in
health and
processes
fufu
and procedures.
What measures people's hands in your food, people pounding, sweat dripping in certain areas. I mean, fufu is not always made in the best of hygienic conditions, but for some people they'll say it adds to the flavor. But I don't want to digress.
Don't. That is a different
issue.
Yes,
let's not even make it.
Yeah.
If you ask me that did he fail, I'm saying that on account of what he's saying now, it means he failed.
So
but
the NPP
he shouldn't. No, I'm saying it's not the failure on his part. Of course, it comes back to us because he was put in charge. But has there been a real fight? There has. We're no longer laying fines on people. You go to jail. It serves as a deterrent to other people. Is it serving as a deterrent? It is.
Is it?
I believe so, Annie. If we are going to look at the numbers going in, then I believe that we need data over a period of time. But if 46 persons have gone in, Annie, we've said that we need to clamp down hard. How do we clamp down hard? One of the things that this government did was you reorganize and restructure small-scale mining. Community mining is a real thing. The Minerals Commission CEO has sat here for 2 to 3 months, if I recall, right after Randy, especially between Tuesdays and Thursdays. He comes to sit here and he highlights all the work that has gone in. And when it comes to small-scale community mining, it's nowhere near any river body.
Community mining.
Yes, they don't do it. I sat here and listened to him.
That's not entirely factual.
If it's not, of course, people, in the same conversations that we had, where people breach and are mining close because the same perception that the closer they are to a water body, the more the minerals show up, amongst other things that they believe in. But in terms of prospecting, moving from prospecting, in terms of what he has said, if he really wants to fight it now that his moral conscience has arrested him, he should make it easy on the age. There are whistleblowers who give information without even showing their face. And they will tell you point A to C and show you where all the lines stack up together.
You remember when in terms of prospecting, this argument about Akonta mining, someone actually educated me about prospecting. The person said that there isn't so much difference between prospecting and actual mining. In prospecting, you might be doing almost the same thing like mining, but you cannot take the minerals. That's if you're able to identify them. You're giving a certain period to work in, to work within in terms of prospecting, and then you report back, and then they will give you the license, to mine. The issue of Akonta mining, I'm not sure what Akonta mining was doing in that forest, because we've had even releases here on Metro TV. We've discussed releases from the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, indicating what they had done with Akonta mining on the ground, in the field, destroying accoutrements that they were using for the mining activities, burning them and all that. But we had the president coming out to say that his investigations have shown that Akonta mining was not into any illegal mining. So on what grounds did the Ministry, of Natural Resources go in to destroy Akonta mining's activities?
Annie,
we've had that an example.
I'm listening to what you're saying.
Right.
You started off by saying that prospecting and mining are almost the same thing. I disagree on that. Technology has evolved when it comes to prospecting. Sometimes it's just testing the soil. Sometimes they have all these gadgets that can literally,
they dig into the ground to test.
Beyond digging, sometimes they even have some infrared something. And there are two agencies that have a broad ideas, there's like a board where they know where all the deposits are, at least based on research. Now, when it comes to Akonta mining, it cannot be that it's hearsay that is letting you make the claim. I can, if it wasn't for the fact that we now know that Frimpong Boateng himself had a company, you know, his son has a company and all that, it would have been just hearsay, but it's factual. When it comes to Akonta mining, I do not know their operations and whatnot, but anybody, and we've seen it happen, people have been throwing names into the space, dragging people in and whatnot. I remember Akonta mining themselves gave responded to the allegations, and you always pull up. I don't have this thing on with me, but I'm sure you have it.
Yes, I'm trying to pull it up now.
In terms of the concession, when they got it, the activities, how they are guided by the principles surrounding their business. So, I mean, you can just throw in any company and say what. Of course, when you mention Akonta mining, it's because it's linked to somebody specifically in the party who's a party stalwart. So it makes it easy to throw him under the bus and say that's Akonta mining. But really and truly, you, Annie, have you validated this claim yourself? Have you seen it yourself? Do you have videos to that effect? Because, I mean, you do investigations and whatnot. But let's come back to the fight. No matter what we say or do, government may come and go. It is a full-blown cancer. Chemo, radiation, whatever modern methods, we need to all fight it. We do not need to play even politics with it, because at the end of the day, when you go and open the tap to drink water, it's not asking you whether you are NPP, NDC, CPP, PNC, to give you clean water or compromised water to that effect. Whatever he said till date, he himself has no moral right, as far as I'm concerned.
He has no moral rights.
Yes.
Professor Frimpong Boateng.
He doesn't, because when it mattered, when he sat in the chair, he made it nearly impossible to fight it. He himself, per what he said.
Oh, wow.
He made it, yes. Based on what he said, because I don't see why you have the position, you say nothing, you do nothing, you look the other way. When issues came, some of us defended it. Because based on what he said. But you can't turn around and start pointing fingers. It would be that the biggest mistake ever was to have put him in that position. Because if he himself knew all these things, especially with his son's involvement, then he shouldn't have even ventured. Because years down the line, in fact, anybody leveling any allegation towards, anybody could have said that his son's concessions are as a result of him being in the position that he's in. Has his concession expanded over time? Possibly. Was it under his involvement? Did he make it? Did he shepherd the process? Did he make it easier for him? And, right. And why do you feel the need? Why do you now feel the need to come back and tell us all of this? And when the AG demands evidence, you are asking the AG himself. Look at the load, the amount of work the AG has. All we're asking is, provide it. But at the end of the day, what is he preempting? What does he see coming? Because somebody can also take him on and say that you were the chair. But these are the things. Did his son get more concessions during the time? I don't know, but at least I've seen the 2014 letter.
And you know, that 2014 letter, he was Minister for Environment, Science and Technology.
He wasn't.
And innovation.
2014, he
not,
was.
Not 2014. When he was a minister of what you were referring to, the longest minister, Minister for Environment, Science, Technology.
Oh, really?
And
he was the
Innovation.
longest minister too?
No, I said the longest name.
Oh,
what
okay.
you were referring to. So we refer to the Akonta mining. Let me just read this. So this is on GNA, October 2, 2022. The Samuel Agbujina, Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, has directed Forestry Commission to halt operations of Akonta mining in the Tanonimri Forest Reserve. Now, a statement issued by the Public Relations Unit of the Lands and Natural Resources Ministry said that the ministry attention had been drawn to publications about certain operations by the said firm in the reserve and in the Amenfi West Municipality, and asked the Commission to hold the activities. Quote, records available to the ministry show that while the Akonta mining has Akonta Mining Limited has a mining lease to undertake mining operations in some part of the Samra outside the forest reserve. The company has no mineral right to undertake any mining operations in the Tano Nimiri Forest Reserve, unquote. The statement said Akonta Mining on August 25, 2022 applied for the mining lease to undertake mining operations in the said reserve. It however said that the ministerial directive said by a ministerial directive, all reconnaissance, prospecting and or exploratory activities in the forest reserve in the country had been suspended except in exceptional circumstances. So the statement also said Akonta Mining Limited application has not been determined, and accordingly any alleged activity being undertaken by the company in the forest reserve is illegal. So, you know, aside this, there was a report also on 4th January 2023, Akonta Mining not engaged in illegal mining in Akufo-Addo. That's when the president, we've been playing the video here, President Akufo-Addo has jumped to the defense of Akonta Mining. I'm reading from CTFM Online. Akonta Mining Company Limited claiming that the firm is not engaged in mining, popularly known as Galamsey. Then I wanted to pull up what Akonta Mining itself also said. Okay, let me just go back on this. Okay, you wanted to say something. I'll let you as I pull up Akonta Mining reserve quickly. I wish I pull it up before you, sir.
Listen to her, but unfortunately, I'm not able to get the head and tail of whatever Akusia is saying. In one breath, she's saying that Professor Frimpong Boateng should mention names. Annie, are there no names in the report?
I didn't say mention names.
No, you said no. You said
I said provide evidence. It's even
at
captured
a
there on
point,
the
she
stage.
said Professor should mention names. I wrote it down.
I'm not away. I'm sitting right here.
Yes, I heard you loud and clear, and I'm saying that Prof has mentioned the names. You also said that Professor has failed. Unfortunately, Prof has not failed. It's the system that failed him. Prof is a credible person. And it is unfortunate how the NPP wants to defend every miss, every corruption, every misfortune that is happening in this country. This time around, we will use strategic communication to communicate with facts and figures. We will communicate the real issues.
After the ministry, I'm sorry, but after the ministry, gave us the details about what Akonta Mining's activities were, there was also a clapback to former President Mahama when he actually also commented on this issue. It says that Akonta Mining Saga Lands Minister replies from Mahama in an open letter. So it says that the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Samuel Apujinapo, has replied John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency, in an open letter. According to Samuel Apujinapo, he will prevent any attempt by the former president to disparage the image and integrity of incumbent president and that of himself. This was after Nana Addo has also come to defend, the issue, and then President Mahama, spoke to it. And he says that, he continues to say this comes after Mahama's review in a Facebook post earlier this morning on that day that President Akufo-Addo has been defending Akonta Mining Company, which generally is known to be engaged in illegal mining. John Mahama believes that that corruption in this administration is on the rise because of Akufo-Addo. Right. Go ahead.
Annie, what I'm saying is that we shouldn't get the issues twisted. And I'm also saying that we'll use strategic communication to communicate the real issues. We cannot deceive Ghanaians anymore. This Galamsey report is a report that must be investigated. And as for the NPP condemning Professor Frimpong Boateng's personality and credibility, that doesn't matter. That is not what we are concerned about. Ghanaians, our concern is that you set out to fight Galamsey. Whether Prof himself was involved or was not involved is not the issue. We don't really care about the fact that Prof was also involved or he was not involved. We are asking you, the president and the government in power, Then you set out to fight Galamsey. What have you done so far? If Prof himself, per what Akosua is saying, was also involved in the Galamsey, what stops you from holding him accountable as well? He should be held accountable as well. We shouldn't narrow the conversation to Prof's personality, who he is, whether his son is also involved, the companies he owns. I mean, when we narrow the conversation to that low level, it makes it very difficult. Let us raise the conversation. Our president said that he will put his presidency on the line. I want to ask Akosua here, please, per what is happening, do you think the president has really put his presidency on the line to fight Galamsey? You think he's done that?
Per what is happening here, I am calling out a former minister who was chair of a committee who has subsequently come out to say that there are persons complicit. Maybe, I don't know, sometimes I wonder, I don't want to ask
and I am saying we shouldn't narrow it to the person's personality.
This was
we are
you.
Talking about
this
Galamsey.
Was you. Interdict Frimpong Boateng. That time wasn't Galamsey. This was 2020. Over missing excavators. This was the position of your party.
But is
3 years later,
will not help the matter. Is this not something that the government should be? First of all, the president said, "I'm using the analysis principle to fight Galamsey."
Yes.
Now we have a person like Erastus who has distinguished himself in bringing out details that are proof, evidence enough that there is some illegal activities going on. Why is the state not taking interest and following
the
up?
46 persons in jail is not evidence of the state.
Now, we set up a committee that we don't have a report from the committee. Do you agree?
I don't know.
Because we have put this report from the chairman. The chairman that brought up the reports, we've put it.
It cannot be that everything from the committee
that we set them out to work.
It cannot be.
Exactly.
And
those committees
hold
on the missing excavators. What has the government done about it?
Please, in terms of now, let me get back to your claim, and I think it's a joint claim that government has not done anything. She actually says government has failed. I gave you. No, I said he has failed. He failed.
I said
he himself
by himself. The government has put him in the position.
Government has moved beyond him because clearly, if he wasn't ready to work, and you see, when you say a personality, I don't know what personality is. If the fact of someone's interest is exposed, if their family leanings, especially in certain things, is also exposed. But 46 persons have been prosecuted in line with Galamsey. We used to fine them. That's like a wake-up call, that people were being fined for poisoning our water. That people had to, they just pay the amount of money, go home, wash their Wellington boots, and Monday they are back doing it. Now those persons who, with wanton disregard for, how do you call it, for our laws and for the systems and mechanisms we put in place, evidence in court, AG they've been tried and tested. They also had lawyers, but the evidence was against them, 46. And I'm saying that, Annie, if we are not careful, maybe the prisons might be overrun because people feel that is the only avenue for them to make money. And there's money in it, but it's hurting all of us. It can't even become a political conversation for me. This morning, our strategic communication expert here is saying that we're going to use strategic communication, and it's now defending Frimpong Boateng when her own party was calling for a faction of party was calling for his head.
She's not defending Frimpong.
No, I never thought I'll see this day, but it's interesting.
You're not listening.
I don't have hearing problems, but it's okay. It could be. I was at a funeral on Saturday. The music was loud, but I know what I'm saying. At least I know. At least I know what I'm saying. And Nikia, we need to all agree. We need to all agree.
You are saying A, then you turn around to say B. Then
I'm saying that. They are
contradicting yourself.
They are viewers. You can't force me to contradict myself. I'm telling you that the person who has had his moral intuition kicking in has no business telling us all he's saying if he's not willing to go the full haul. So evidence, if you are, Annie, in terms of putting people into conversations and alleging or whatever, I could say, oh, but Annie, I saw you in Asemisi's car, but he's a big Galamsey person. Hey, Annie, this is your gold bracelet. When did you get it? Hey, Annie is a beneficiary of Galamsey. People can say anything.
So you think that's that's the nature of the report?
That's
the nature of the report.
I'm saying that the nature of the
by
report by Prof. It pains me that he's put himself in that position, because when did he realize all of this? Being as upstanding as he wants us to believe he is, he should have seen that, oh, Jojo is doing this. I also have business in relation. Recuse yourself. He will clap for you. Even he once wanted to be a flag bearer of the party. Is it unimaginable for him to want to do that?
There have been hundreds of people accusing the president of putting his relatives in office. Please. Must he recuse himself as president because his relatives are also working in other places?
The unfortunate thing,
which are very close to him. The finance minister is closely related to the president.
Look, what is even worse is somebody who supervised the worst economy of our time without the twin forces of a pandemic and wars raging still wants to come back as president. He hasn't recused himself. So the president, as you see,
then your point
you have allegations. No, I'm saying that it speaks to who he is. That if indeed you now feel the right, you have the right to highlight the ills, as upstanding as you are, then you do what? You stay back. When you say that in terms of qualification and whatnot, I won't question his qualification, but it's the outcome of what he supervised that we are talking about. When did you realize this? Okay, you are saying this. Add the evidence to it. After all, AG has been in court. So you cannot sit here and say, I'm saying A and B. When you find people and let them go, tier 200 nako. Then he goes home, rests 3 days, finds his fufuwama that you have been talking about, goes against our deforestation rules. Mind you, forest reserves, we don't cut trees there. So that allegation is also another problem, but that's an aside. It comes to the point that he who alleges must prove, right? So go the long haul, provide, give dates, figures, facts, whatever. Even some of the conversations he had.
You see, he had a conversation. Give dates. Are there no dates in the report?
Yeah, but I'm even saying that.
The dates that you are mentioning, the dates aside, why is it that? Okay, let me ask you a question. Do you give a report and then when you're asked to help along the process, you say no? How are they supposed to do it? Oh, you got the date. This date that you provided.
How did you come across? No, do you have a copy of the report? Have you read the whole report?
I've read the report.
And you didn't see names and dates?
I said, listen, I think that you have friends who are lawyers. You don't just put something in a report and go and sleep. You need to help the investigative process. Is it an exhaustive document for them to just hold on to it and then grab people? Nanekia, Ushe Gold 7. Forgive me. Look at your... Look at your earrings and all that.
FPP makes fun of every serious issue.
No, you are making fun of a situation when it comes to you saying woman. But I didn't want to talk about it. It's serious because you find people when you have to take them to jail. No, like I'm impressed. But the point is, I'm impressed.
With my chains and things. We are talking about
we're having a conversation. Why should it be? Why are we drawing swords here? Or are you shooting somebody? They have 40 people. There are 46 people in jail.
What about those government appointees who have been accused?
I'm accusing you, right? I'm accusing you. Clearly, you are involved in Galamsey. Is that how it works?
No, but I'm saying that.
No, you can't just throw things out there and expect.
It when you say that you're accusing her.
No, I'm just saying.
By the nature of the Prof. Mpom Watson's report.
No, I think. Let me take it back. Sorry, the thing came back. I think that sometimes when you're having a conversation here, sometimes we pass light-hearted comments and everything. So I can take that back, but it hasn't taken away from what I've said about him at all in the least. If you want to see this thing go the long haul, AG says, help. Annie, is it a bad call? You come home. You come home. We don't even know. You come home.
What manner?
Listen, you come home. You come home. Let me tell you.
We're not sure how the AG conducted its investigation.
You come. Let's do this. You come home, okay, from work. You live with your cousin, right? And certain things in your house, prized possessions or whatever, goes missing. Okay. Now the head of security in your area or whatever, who you pay a certain amount to, okay, comes and says it's your cousin, right?
Yeah.
Just by virtue of the fact that you live with your cousin. So he says, oh, I think it's your cousin that did it. Okay, for you to retrieve the things from your cousin, right, in a court of competent jurisdiction, wouldn't you need the security to provide how it happened? What dates? When did you see them leaving? It's not just on account of them living with you, so they are thieves. You get what I'm saying? So it cannot be, and I'm sorry if I mock Nanekria, but the conversation when she says lift it is in one breath, her not even accounting for the fight against Galamsey. When it didn't even start here. It started years ago. And I said it, like a cancer. Moving from stage 1 to stage 4.
Akosia,
it's not
cannot be compared to
that
any
we'll have to talk about it. It is a cancer, it is a scourge on our conscience as a nation.
To any cancer,
you cannot dismiss it and score political point of it when you were finding people instead of taking them to court and jail them to serve as a deterrent. You cannot sit here and now be a champion of reform party when your own party was calling for it. So maybe that it matters because that fact is lost on you.
Remember this issue of
so that you align and don't say that you are confused because you don't know what I'm saying. I know exactly what I'm saying.
The excavators got missing. We had allegations of someone going into the Prof's office recording Prof saying that party Hiasika and all those comments. How did the president or the government actually address this matter? Because it was at a point where the appointor could have said, you know what, because this tapes and all these issues coming up are complicating you yourself as a chairman, recuse yourself, let's investigate you. Did the government do anything of that nature?
Right now, you are even making my arguments for me. You are making my arguments for me because if in that time, like you said, it happened under his watch, and then months down the line, or is it a year or two down the line, 3 years after he's been dropped as a minister, he comes back and now begins to champion a certain cause.
My question is, why did you wait and keep him in office knowing that he was supervising things that were still not inuring to the benefit of what we were fighting?
I think that, first of all, it's clear that he was dropped as minister. Was he not?
Is that why Prof has written this report? You think he's bitter? That's why he's written this report?
That's a question you can ask him, not me.
But
now, secondly, no, I'm saying you can ask him too. I said clearly, is he preempting something? Is he not the one who made certain claims, even against his committee members? Weren't the committee members the one who made claims that they couldn't work with him? Look at the things that transpired in the process. Look at the conversations on Galamsey beyond what the fight has been. And now it's become a personal attack of who is involved and who is not involved. You brought Akonta Mining in, for instance, and the minister's response even to the former president on it. We've come back. I think the conversation has been stretched beyond a certain limit. Is government fighting it? Government is fighting it. We can speak to jailing 46 persons complicit in it. If we move from fining them to jailing them, it's a deterrent. Because fines, people can pay fines 10 times over, given the lucrative nature of what they are involved in. What we need him to do, what is best, is not just to put a report in a paper and leave it at that.
I'm not having a lot of time. I would have stretched it further, even though you say it has been overstretched. I would have stretched it further because we still have
he should just
more issues coming up when it comes to
it will. It's not going to end. It's not going to end. And it's not just a Ghana issue. Extractives are a major problem in the sub-region.
My time is up.
Annie, I don't know what to say, but I think we don't understand what Akosia is saying.
No,
I really have no idea what
she's
talking about. Professor Frimpong Boateng, it's not our interest. Our interest is that your president says he's going to fight Galamsey. Has he done so? That is what we are interested in. So you coming to sit here and tell us Prof is bitter, Prof has an interest, his son is doing X, Y, Z.
Well, let's say he's bitter. I don't think I use that word.
We don't really care about that. Annie,
Annie, I don't think I use. I didn't use the word.
Let us get serious.
That sounded like
Annie, let us get serious with issues, okay? Let us be serious. Before MPP came into power in 2016, they portrayed themselves as a serious group of people.
What did you do before 2014?
They portrayed themselves as though they were serious. They were results oriented.
2017 in fighting Galamsey.
Based on that, the people of Ghana gave them the mandate.
Give me 3 things
now you have been given the mandate, and now when we have to communicate, you are joking.
3 things you did to fight Galamsey. You have time. 3 minutes. 3 things you did to fight Galamsey.
Allow that.
You won't allow what?
Please, we will not allow
what
you to
joke
do
to
with
fight
the 30 million
Galamsey, so
Ghanaians.
that we know that this is what you did.
Enough of the jokes of this MPP government.
What did you do to fight
forward,
Galamsey?
in 2024,
what did you do?
We will not leave this nation in the hands of people who don't have the experience to run this nation.
You will find Galamsey.
We will leave this nation in the hands of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, who has done it before and who can do it again. When they were coming to power, they told us that the fundamentals were weak and the exchange rate has exposed the president. Now the fundamentals are weaker. Okay. And the exchange rate has exposed Bawumia and the entire MPP. And because they have been exposed, and because everybody knows that they have not done too well, they have just come to joke with the entire nation. Now they are even taking it to another level.
Okay.
Give us 3 things you did to fight Galamsey before 2017.
Make serious allegations against government appointees.
So that when you're calling us a joke, we'll know that you're a bigger joke for not fighting it because you hinged your presidency against fighting it.
Regarding illegal mining, but no evidence is provided for investigations. Annie, please ask Nanekia if she recalls the weeks leading to the 2020 elections when figures like Kweku Boahen and Tony Obing campaigned in Galamsey regions, promising its return if voting for Mahama and the NDC. And this aided the NDC winning in some Galamsey areas. How can we combat Galamsey? Okay, this says that, okay, I will deal with this later. But let me pick this from lawyer says good morning, Annie. Lawyer Eric Dela Alifo. Let our question know that Galamsey menace is a public interest canker and not Professor Frimpong Boateng's exclusive private problem, of which the government must be asking him to provide evidence, which Attorney General outfit is better equipped to more capable of covering. The government is only shielding the culpable functionaries by confusing the general public that Professor Frimpong Boateng's responsibilities responsible to provide further information than he has done. You say special good morning to Akosia Menu MP for Adenta constituency. Coming up, Reynolds Agona out of Reynolds, good morning to you. Annie, there was fight against Galamsey and there is currently no fight. This is from Honourable Member for Parliament Clementa Park. The so-called fight remains a hoax, serving as a cover for government appointees and NPP members to profit from the destruction of our forests and the pollution of our water bodies. The visible evidence is clear. More forests have destroyed, the more water bodies have been polluted since the dubious "I will try my presidency on the line" pronounced by I'll put my presidency on the line pronounced by the president. Annie, look at the color of our rivers, and they still have the audacity to say they are fighting illegal mining. They have not. And they are condoning this because they are beneficiaries. Dr. Park sent this one. Margot says, good morning, Annie. Are you in yellow? No, I'm not. It's Kerry. Yeah. Let's not have this color conversation. For today, I'm just passing through.
Turmeric.
This is...
Tell her I miss it. Margot.
Okay.
Last time I was sitting here with her, right?
Yeah. Lara, sorry, are you ready? Are you ready, Fufu? Found Fufu this weekend and invite me, I will come. Are you ready? I won't get the forest to enter the West Garden. I beg, I can't pound. So this one says that, Annie, for Akosia to conclude that Professor Frimpong Boateng has failed, needs not to surprise us at all. They have whipped the questioning and integrity of Prof because he has exposed Nanado inability to be truthful and the fight against Galamsey. Erastus Asaridonko of Multimedia, who has been awarded as the best journalist of the year, gave glaring evidence of illegal activities of Akonta mining, which belongs to Ashanti Region Chairman MPP Wontumi. You say, all right, this is what time will allow me. And my guest, thank you for coming through. Erastus, congratulations, and all award winners as well, congratulations. We'll continue the talk about Galamsey until we see the water clearing up and how to safeguard ourselves as far as safety is concerned, as far as the illegal mining activities are also concerned. Thanks for watching. We're back tomorrow with Good Morning Ghana. Thank you, my guest. Good morning.